Hello, friends, and welcome inside the TCO Performance Center. Jim Nantz, I had to...
Thank you for the hello, friends, man.
Absolutely.
You know, I say it because it's a tribute to my dad.
Oh.
He's been gone a long time, but he unfortunately battled Alzheimer's for a long time. And that was one of the last things that I could get him to remember was I was going to give him this on-air kind of cue that I was thinking of him. So I'd look into the lens and I'd say, hello, friends, Jim Nantz here. It was all about being a message to my dad. And it evolved into something that I hear it everywhere I go now. People yell it out in the airports, hello, friends. And it always makes me think of my dad, so it's a good feeling.
That's a phenomenal story. I mean, I'm sorry about your loss. I feel like there's really no good transition from that.
That's all right.
I know you're in town to cover this Minnesota Vikings versus Dallas Cowboys game, 3:25 on CBS, game of the week.
Yeah,
and you talked to Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, a lot of different guys. What were some of the feedback that you got that kind of describes the mindset for the Vikings going into Sunday?
It's just such a positive attitude around here. They're just, you can tell when teams are winning and when there's a message that's hitting home. It starts obviously with the coaching staff, and there's just so much positivity here. I met with Kirk also, and Coach Donatel, and it's just, there's a lot going on here that's all good. And I think there's this little hidden chip. It's probably not that hidden, but the fact that more people are siding with the Cowboys, those that reach into their wallet and put a little action on a game. More people think Dallas is going to win the game than a team that's 8-1, hasn't lost at home, coming off a big win against Buffalo. Yeah. And that's a nice little chip to be able to play when you get to the game. I mean, once the game starts, you play the game, but there's just a little bit of an extra. I've got something I want to show people that helps.
And I feel like being an underdog at being 8-1 kind of fuels you also. So what does that mean for this Vikings team, being the underdog and understanding that, hey, this is a national opportunity to show who we actually are?
I think you already had that. So no matter what the odds makers say or whatever the betting public is putting down as far as who they're siding with to win. But I think it's a better position to be in than being the favorite.
Yeah.
You know, so listen, enjoy it while it lasts. But this is another big window. It will probably be the most watched game of the year, which would usurp last week's Minnesota game. Last week's Cowboys game against Green Bay. And then on Thanksgiving Day, all bets are off because the Thanksgiving Day audience is ginormous. But there will be a massive audience ready to find out what the Vikings are all about this year.
Hopefully it's another win on Sunday for this Minnesota Vikings team. But Jim, you've covered the PGA tournament, you've covered Final Fours, you've been around a bunch of championship teams, covered a Super Bowl. What is the identity of a championship team, and does Minnesota have that right now?
Oh yeah, you know, and of course I know how much it would mean too, because the history of it here and how Minnesota has had great teams and have been so close before. But what's the common denominator? I mean, I think they've got it. I mean, there aren't really any great weaknesses here. There's a dynamic young leader that's making his mark, and Kevin. And offensively, again, dynamic. Defensively, making plays, creating takeaways, turnovers. One thing to be very helpful, the Monday night loss for the Eagles was a helpful mindset, because you go through the rest of the season, the gigantic gap between Minnesota and the rest of the division, you know, you're going to have something to play for now. It's not a matter of who's going to win the NFC North. It's a matter of what is the seed going to be. This, by the way, could be a team that you'll be seeing twice in 2 months. Could see the Cowboys again come postseason. You'd rather play them here. You could actually end up the number 1 seed. Now that the Eagles have, of course, they got the head-to-head, but you had a bigger grounds to make up before the Washington loss on Monday night. This team's capable of having the 1 seed. I think that would be a fantastic thing to be able to have, don't you? Not have to go anywhere and play one last game to get there. They have it. Unfortunately, it's not our year to do the Super Bowl. We're 1 year away. It'll be my 9th Super Bowl next year. But this Minnesota team's going to be around for a long, long time, so they'll make a run at it this year and next year, I'm sure.
My last question for you before we get out of here. This is the first time these two teams have faced each other with a record over 500 since 1998, when the famous Randy Moss touchdown game on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day game. I remember it well. He made all those catches, going deep on those fly patterns. And it's a crazy year in the league. We're usually on the AFC side of things. So this is week 11. This is only the second game we've had this year.
Wow.
In which we had 2 teams with a winning record.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you think about it. The other 10 weeks, well, week 1 doesn't count, but the other weeks we've had, only 1 week do we have matchup of 2 winning teams, and it's our A game at CBS. That was Buffalo and Kansas City, rematch of their playoff game last year. So we're thrilled to be here. Tony and I will take it all in, and the great raucous fans of Minnesota, and there's also a good chance we're going to see this team on January 1st at Green Bay. That's right now that's earmarked as our doubleheader game. We'll see. We'll need the Packers to kind of step up a little bit for that game to stay in that position, but everybody should be feeling very good about things right now. What a stretch this is, though, with the game right behind it, with New England coming in. And anyway, I know they're glad to be home, and there's a lot to like that's going on here.
I'm loving it. I'm sure you'll be loving Sunday's game.
I'm loving it. I love being here. I do. I've got great memories. The 3M. I was here this summer, but 2019, the Final Four was here, and I got to call that one with Virginia beating Texas Tech in overtime. So I've had 3 Final Fours in this city, and a lot of other events. But there's definitely an excitement in the air about this team.
Are you looking for is there any stat or any key moment that you're looking for on Sunday's game that could really, I guess, get either team over the hump?
Well, no, I mean, I think there's so many, always a record that can be broken or tied, but they could have the all-time record for most consecutive 1-score wins.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't surprise me at all.
My heart. My heart right now.
No, I'm just anxious to see it. Hopefully it'll be a wide open affair. Nothing against the defenses here, but I think it's going to be just super.
Jim Nantz, always a pleasure.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, all of you.